On abbey shores where shadows play, the alley whispers night and day. In abomination, alley's grip, where fear and danger tightly knit. Oh, the alley breathes a tale untold of secrets dark and hearts grown cold. Abbey streets, they'll pull you in to the depths where sin begins.
Hello, and welcome to Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night, so of course that means we're playing Abomination Alley, our BRP actual play. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason, and with me as usual will be Patrick playing Leo, Sarah playing Vivian, Cara playing Teak, Eric playing Michael, Jeremy playing Salvador, and Rappy playing Charlie. And who remembers what happened last week?
Salvador got grabbed by something in the water.
Alright, so Patrick's going to start with the very, very end.
I mean, I think that's kind of where we're all focused right now.
Yeah.
We were investigating reports of a body found in the docks. We found that it was badly bruised in like a weird shape that like something could have grabbed it if it was massive. Boy, were we wrong about that.
I believe it was a Ricky Gray,
Mm-hmm.
a local mid-level manager for Flynn Shipping Co. But he was found close to one of the headquarters for the Longshoremen's Association, which is a local union.
Mm-hmm.
He was found by some of the union people. They pulled him out of the water. The union having so many strange folk in it, though, they called you instead of the police.
Correct course of action.
Yeah, you know. They're pretty sure y'all weren't going to show up and just shoot them on GP, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The police don't have the best record with strange folk or with the unions. But you got the police involved. Everything went fairly peacefully. You did find, some weirdness on the body. I believe Leo got a slight sense of some residual magic in the area. Specifically down by the water where the body was found.
And before he could tell anybody, it was too late. Salvador was grabbed.
Well, that was the second time.
Hey,
That was
guys,
when y'all
I'm
got
getting
the
a bit
call
Magic.
that some of the Flynn thugs had drugged one of the union guys off and were beating him. Or had beaten him. They'd roughed him up some. While they were roughing him up, he thought he saw something in the water. Y'all went down to the... it's a dock, but it's a dock you'd like pull, a rowboat or a canoe or, It's just
Sure.
right there on the water. It's not something an actual ship would use. And let's see, Leo walked out to the end of it and started looking around for magic. And just by the time he senses something is spinning around, Salvador felt something grab his ankle.
I got your magic right here, buddy.
So, yep, that is where we will be starting off.
Okay. Salvador's not a great swimmer, but he'll try.
Wait, I didn't say it pulled you. I just said it grabbed your ankle.
Okay.
So Leo was spinning around to look. I'm assuming Salvador was looking down.
Oh, it has not. It's not like pulling me. It just like
No,
is
no.
tap.
You
Tap,
just
feet.
felt something grab your ankle.
Ah. Can I fire at it? Just like handgun down at it?
I don't think you have your handgun drawn yet, but you could draw your gun.
I
Someone
absolutely.
grabs your ankle and you immediately got to shoot it.
Yes.
Way to
Fair.
escalate. You're supposed to de-escalate violent situations.
I'm not supposed to do shit. Something
Hey,
grabbed
you
me,
touched
and I
me.
didn't tell it not to.
All right, but what you
I-
see,
I'll.
you look down, you see a topless woman holding your ankle.
I think he saws the gun. He draws the gun, looks down.
She's like halfway up out of the water, you know. One arm is just kind of on the dock, and you know.
Can I help you?
She starts to talk. There's some slight gurgling. She like spits a bunch of water out. Sorry, I forgot. I have to clear my throat when I come to the surface, which is about the time you see her tail come up out of the water.
Let's start, please. Ha!
So this is what you see.
I appreciate the censor bar.
Well, you know, it's YouTube or Twitch rather. Will be YouTube
Yeah.
later.
It will be YouTube at some point.
So yes, primitive little censor bar.
Yep.
Ye olde censor bar.
Salvador is still it's like here. He's still trigger discipline and all that.
Imagine
and-
Teek's like holding his hand. He's like this, both hands on his holsters. Just like, okay, he's gonna wait.
Ma'am, can I help? Can I help you as you're like as she's like slowly raising up?
Yeah, she you know,
Is she like onto the dock?
well, it's like she lets go of your ankle and holds a hand up like so you can help her up.
Oh, okay.
So you help her up into the.
Yep.
Teek will release the guns.
I'll
now.
I have one,
It's like-
and then I have the other.
Release the guns? Oh. I gotcha.
Because he's like this, because it's on his side, so he's like this.
Anyway,
Patrick,
off
the
the dock she goes.
yeah, so she's like sitting on the dock now. And Leo, some of the magic you sensed, like the little amulets she's wearing, she's got some kind of charms though.
I gotcha. There it is.
Now, as you can
And
tell by
this
looking
is-
at the picture, it's less. She is less half fish than you would say, more like half dolphin, or the bottom half looks mammalian.
And are mermaids a known thing in this world, or
Yes, they don't interact with people a whole lot. But yes, they are a race of strange folk that came over when everybody else did. They arrived mostly in the Mediterranean, but they've spread out quite a bit since then.
I mean, when you have nothing but water to travel.
Makes me wonder how they
I-
got into the lake.
I guess we'll start with the name.
Oh, she's like, yes, my name's Alita.
Alita. Okay. What can we do you for, ma'am?
You were the people they called when they found the body, aren't you?
Yes.
Are we that obvious?
Well, I saw you this morning. Or was it yesterday morning? I forget when it was, y'all.
Yesterday
Time passed.
morning.
Yeah.
Yesterday
She
morning.
saw you yesterday when you were there,
The fish lady could have a bad sense of time. It's fine.
No, that's just me having a bad sense of time. But she's like, I've been waiting around the docks to see if I saw the thing again.
The thing.
And then I saw the man getting beaten up earlier, but
Let's start at the beginning.
okay.
We fished the body out. It seems to have damage consistent with. I mean, if I'm real, what you kind of did there a second ago with my ankle.
No, no, no. The thing that drowned him was much
She's
larger.
not big
than me.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she was strong enough, perhaps.
She'd also have
Looks-
to be bigger.
Yeah, looks at the
Yeah.
hands of the lady.
Well, what wrapped around? You said it was a tentacle, right?
What? That wrapped around you?
Yeah.
No, I just said something grabbed your ankle.
Grab the ankle. Okay.
We
understood.
all went to tentacle.
You all went to tentacle
Yeah,
immediately.
we all went to tentacle.
I didn't go to tentacle.
I was like, shit, the octopus got me.
I have been building up the octopus.
You did. And then I even shared a
but-
picture because I got bored and found one.
Yes. But anyway, then yeah, he'll holster his weapon and be like, so what does this creature look like?
Water.
It just looks like water.
I'm fairly certain it's a. And then I blank on the word. Naiad.
Nereid?
Water would be naiad.
Naiad.
Yeah.
Which Patrick, that's basically a water elemental.
Gotcha.
All the main elemental types have a specific name that goes along with them. It was weird though, because usually they appear like human women, or elf women, or that basic body plan.
A feminine
Humanoid.
What did
feature.
this one look like?
You said this one looked like water?
Well, they always look they're made of water.
Yeah.
More so? Or it's something
This
different
one
about
got larger.
Mhm.
I didn't see exactly what it looked like when it first came out. It was only when the man, screamed. That's what got my attention.
Hmm.
I'm new to the area, and I was just sort of investigating the city.
Okay.
I mean, what little bit I can see from here.
Do you have community down there, or do you have people, or are you just here all by your lonesome?
Oh no, my pod has moved into the area recently.
I see.
See.
How?
So, are you recruiting us to get rid of this Nereid or Naid?
Well, I just thought if it was killing one of your people, you probably wanted to know about it.
We do want to know about it.
And frankly, the idea of one of those things being used for violence is terrifying. You can't see them when they're in the water.
There has been an uptick of agents of chaos over the last little bit here, so I would not be surprised if that had something to do with it.
She looks quite startled by that. Well, elemental
So
spirits
to
aren't
cycle-
chaos.
To cycle back, what looked weird about it?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't in a humanoid form. It was creating tendrils. And it
Would
was
explain
drowning
the
the man in
tentacle.
the lake.
That is consistent with what we found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but usually it would just reach out and sort of, touch his face and cover him.
It drug him into the water.
Exactly,
Did it-
exactly. And the other
So,
man
a
wasn't
more
doing anything to help.
personalized touch.
What
Could you
other
describe this
man?
other man?
He was in like a shirt you wear over. Michael, you wearing a coat?
Yeah.
Is it like a regular suit coat, or is it like a long trench coat kind of?
Longer kind of trench coat looking thing.
Oh, it was a coat kind of like that, or when she's trying to describe the clothing, she points to that. It's kind of like that, very long. He had the she kind of points where his collar's laying down. He had it pulled up. He had a hat pulled down low.
Mm.
He just stood there with his hands in the little pouches, pockets.
Interesting.
You can tell at a glance she's probably not that familiar with clothing.
Yeah, she's
She's got her little amulets, a little bit of jewelry, and like a belt that are like, she got a knife on her belt,
Was he
Was he-
talking to anyone, or was he just staring?
And this is one thing I want to check occult here. In terms of, because I do know it is possible to both like summon and or control, but I'm curious as to what means of control in this instance. Because if this man summoned it, I'm trying to figure out, is this kind of the other gentleman clearly the one in command of the...
Okay, we'll go ahead and give me a roll while I answer other people's questions.
Okay.
She's not sure. Like, she didn't see any conversation ahead of time. She heard the man that was drowned. She heard him scream. And that's when she looked over, and that guy was screaming, you know, with it, he turned around, he was looking at the thing raising out of the water. That's when she saw it rising out of the water. And the other guy that was just, you know, just a little bit further, you know, from the water, you know, just kind of stood there and watched the whole thing. And then left as the naiads sank back down into the water.
Which might explain why the area felt like something magical had happened here, but there was nothing specific.
Possibly. Yeah, what did you get on your occult roll, Patrick?
45, so it's a success.
Okay.
Currently a 58.
Let's see. You know, most of the time summoning involves rituals. You know, like it's kind of a drawn out process.
Yeah.
You, for instance, might summon a spirit, but more of your wizard, mage, you know, your book learning wizard types, or more the type to summon elementals like this. It's not strictly restricted to them, but that does imply. Let's see, so that does imply that either he was here and set up well in advance, or he might have summoned the thing previously and had it, like, you know, come along here. You know, if it was summoned here, it would definitely have left a magical residue.
Yeah.
If it was released here, maybe it would have, maybe it wouldn't have. You have to do some more research. So yeah, so Alita asked you, you know, why they called you when they found a dead man. I mean, you know, are you somebody important in the city? What's your role in the city? You know.
Our group handles a lot of the more folk things that happen. Deal with more of the folk than the human law enforcement usually does.
Oh, okay. But you're human.
We've been selected as a Bayorn.
She recognizes that word.
I am human, yes. The only one.
He is a lawyer, so technically.
But
there's a look shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, ma'am, did you happen to get a look at this person's face that was standing in the back?
But not really. He had the you know, the collar up and the hat down. I can see a little bit of his chin. He had fuzz on his chin.
Okay, that's better than nothing.
No, wait a second.
Was he
Wait a second.
taller?
The men of her
I'm
people
sorry.
grow beards. Never mind. She knows what a beard is. Yeah, he had a beard.
Was he taller or shorter than any of us, or about the same height as you that you could tell?
How was the guy who was drowned?
Hold
he
up,
was
hold
human,
up. One
right?
question at a time. All right.
Sorry.
So she points at Teak, way taller than him. Salvador, how tall are you?
That's most people.
Salvador is like 5'2", 5'3".
How tall is Michael?
Tall for an elf.
Michael is 6'1".
Okay. She's like, I think he, I was a little bit away, but I'd say he was probably, she points at Salvador, taller than you, points over at Michael, not as tall as you.
Just like a head. Maybe if you like a head taller than me, maybe.
Maybe like
Vivian's
half a
about
head taller.
5'6", if that helps.
Yeah.
Okay. That helps. Salvador is writing not unlike a noir detective, like writing notes and a little
Pulls a pen and
notepad.
paper out of nowhere, out of thin air. Just
So beard,
Please.
long coat, popped collar, hat pulled down to obscure view.
Some kind of ritualist.
Slightly shorter than me.
How tall was the Union guy?
Well, you only ever saw him
Good.
laying down.
Good point.
No, the guy coming in to work with the Union that spoke to us. I can't
Basley?
remember his name.
Yeah.
I don't know if Basley's description even gave.
I don't think he really did.
Just covering all our NPC bases.
Yep.
And did he have a beard? We would have at least known that.
You would have known that.
True.
Basley.
You don't have a picture of him that you've shared with us, if that helps.
Do what now?
If you're looking for a picture of him, you haven't shared one with us.
Yeah.
Well, Vasley I got out of a module. So I was seeing if they had a... Okay, Vasley. He has got a very pronounced mustache, but then he just got the little bitty kind of goatee, just a little smidge of hair right here.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be consistent with like full beard.
No, and what she describes as a full beard. Not a big, long, bushy, classical wizard
not a wizard
beard,
beard, but a close.
But a full beard. Like mine, but if it went, it was going all the way up. About that time, you hear somebody wolf whistle off in the distance. I mean, not way off in the distance, but like back on the shore. You hear one go, "What's going on here?" And his buddy starts slapping on the shoulder. No, look, her legs. She doesn't have legs.
One moment, man. Gentlemen, can I help you?
No, we were just headed over to. I mean, we saw
I'm sure
I mean,
It'd be best if you get to work, gentlemen.
Please return to your duties.
One of the guys is human. The guy that was patting him on the shoulder is an elf. You see some recognition in his eyes when he moves his attention over to y'all. It's like, oh. Hey, come on.
Please return to your duties.
Yeah, they're doing their.
Yeah.
They're doing their thing. They're the guys that we called in about the.
They'll have one
They walk
day.
off.
Tip my hat. Anyway, like about faces back.
And Alita's just like, it's an interaction she doesn't quite get.
How far away is your pod from here, from where we are right here? Surely you have a spot where you like congregate.
Her eyes narrow just a little bit. They're a ways off.
You don't have to say exactly where, just like close enough to see something on a regular basis. Too far
Oh no,
away.
we mostly try to avoid people. I just got curious and wanted to come out here.
Okay.
Technically, I was out hunting, so I mean, if I'm hunting close to shore, it's still just hunting.
What exactly are you hunting?
I'm not sure what kind of large fish you have in the Great Lakes. So that seems like something I probably should have researched since I was going to introduce mermaids.
Good to say fish.
Yeah, basically, I mean, mermaids do not eat people. Merfolk do not eat people.
It's not necessary.
There's this long fish. I think they call it a sturgeon. You can find a bunch of those in the area. I don't know how new you guys are here.
We were alive a couple of. We arrived just a couple months ago.
Ah, I see.
Okay.
Oh, you guys have been here. Oh well, I was gonna say longer than me, but Salvador's now been here for like 6 months at this point.
Yeah, they've just arrived.
Mm-hmm. Well, try the sturgeon. It's supposed to be really good.
They've enjoyed what they found so far. It's different from out in the ocean, and the water is a little heavier here.
Heavier. That sounds ominous.
It just means it's freshwater. Seawater is you have more buoyancy in seawater.
I see. Okay, that's fair. All the salt. Well, I mean, I don't really have much else. Can't really think of anything else to ask you at this moment. Just if you keep your eyes open and how do you contact people? How do you normally contact people? Do you just kind of wash up on the shore and wait for someone to
Well,
contact
we
you?
don't talk to people a whole lot. I mean, if we need to call each other, we just dive and sing. Our songs carry a lot further than our spoken voice up here.
I see. Just if you I don't know how many people are in your pod, but that many plus us, that many amount of eyes can only be helpful for fighting something and getting it away from everybody involved.
Well, she'd be happy to stay in touch with you if you had a method of doing so.
Well, there are, as evidenced by the inappropriateness of those two gentlemen earlier, there are more than enough people here. You're able to find, and one of them can contact us.
Well, the problem is her coming out of the water, startling them, could end up hurting her.
I actually have a suggestion. And I actually asked, are you capable of writing or know of it?
She knows of it, yes. Paper doesn't hold up so well for her people.
Understandable, but perhaps a location can be arranged. Essentially, if you need to contact us or we need to contact you, essentially a signal can be left.
A Dropbox.
Dropbox and or just or anything remotely like, there's a couple of she shells right here. Hey.
Just to get moved.
hey, meet me at the meeting spot.
Yeah, she's fairly agreeable to that. It'd be nice to have some service people to talk to about service people stuff.
And it's good to meet you as well.
Before you know it, you'll think we're mundane in no time.
Oh, she doubts that.
Just be careful. Not every one of us surface folk are as friendly as we are.
But you're welcome to speak to us. We are amenable to common goals.
Oh yeah, that's great. She seems to be fairly excited.
We just need to find out what the signal will be.
Could always agree to meet at around noon for the next week or two at a given location. It's easy enough to tell, at least generally, when it's noon. Or when the boats come in, meet at a certain point.
Yeah, she
You could
could.
pick sunrise or sunset.
Cloudy
Just-
days may not work as well.
That's
Boats
true. I'm just
are
thinking
on a
of-
timer.
That's true. I'm just thinking about in terms of people around us.
Well, it doesn't have to be here.
That's true.
Say, while this is going on, Michael's he's gonna be kind of like studying I'll think it'd be a bay. The dock area around the water. um, First I'm gonna try to turn on his R detection again.
Okay.
See if that actually works. Yeah, off by 1. Okay.
You could always burn POW to roll your luck.
Yeah, sure. Ah. I wouldn't get the XP for it though.
That's
But
true.
it but it would help with any skill checks regarding perception.
It's up to you. I was just making sure you remembered that it was an option.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm not sure if this will be like a listen, a sense, or a spot. But I'm not sure what you want me to roll.
All right. So what are you trying to pick up on?
He's just kind of studying the area, see if there's anything that he can. Honestly, it'd probably be sense to see if he could sense anything.
All right. Give me a roll.
Nope.
Nope. Let's be honest. You're a man in the 20s. You're probably distracted by the fact that the lady's sitting there topless and completely unbothered by it. Not a one of you gentlemen has offered her your coat.
This is she.
I'm not
wants
wearing a
to look
coat.
like- she
She honestly
wants
would
to
probably
look
be
like-
offended.
Yeah, exactly. This is what she looks like when she's just out and about with her people. Who am I to deny her that?
That is a very 2020 thing to think, not a very 1920 thing to think. But that's fine.
I don't know what to tell you.
Salvador,
I'm a
a man
product of
ahead
my
of his
time.
time.
Yeah, exactly. He's progressive for his time. Anyway, I think I kind of look at the group and go, well, I don't think any of us have anything else here. Is there a place you'd be more comfortable meeting us besides here?
Well, if you keep showing up here where there's so many people, it might make a fuss eventually.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they, her people do tend to avoid, ships out at sea, back when, when they were still in the Atlantic.
Mhm.
Every now and then you run across sailors that want to try to catch them.
Weirdos.
Yeah, yeah. And some of them seem so disappointed when we're not, we don't have the fishtails. So they don't realize the fishy ones mostly stay underwater because they can breathe underwater.
Oh, are you able to do both?
Oh no, we I can't stay down more than an hour. So
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, if you have a place that you are more inclined to share with us that we can meet and interact and just kind of go over notes, as it were, we're happy to have it.
well, the next time we meet, we can meet here, and I can try to scout out somewhere in the meantime.
Look at the group.
Sounds fine to me.
Me?
Okay, so when do we want to meet here next?
Tomorrow?
When do the boats typically leave or come in around this area?
That's a good point.
I assume the one of the dwarves that we've been talking to is there. Look to him.
Oh yeah,
I think-
the guy that was roughed up would still, the guy that had been roughed up, and
Mhm.
I think it was Larry that had called you this time. Lawrence,
Yeah.
Lawrence Smith. Yeah, he's the dwarf. Yeah. So yeah, both of them are there. Larry's kind of doing this number. He's a happily married man. But yeah,
Is there?
either one of them can rattle off, when the bulk of the boats, come and go. The fishing boats leave out and come back very regularly.
Maybe after a good portion of them have left, that way there's less people at the dock.
Okay.
Looky loos make things just challenging.
Question.
Mhm.
Um, the guy that had followed Michael that one time when he left his house.
Okay, yeah, it's like he was casing the place, or
Yeah.
at least on like a stakeout.
Did
Yeah.
he have a beard or wore like a long coat with a hat?
I believe he was in more of a business suit.
Okay.
He was wearing a bowler, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
He have
don't
a
I don't
beard?
recall rattling off facial hair one way or the other. So
Okay.
so he was clean shaven.
You might possibly have one now.
I mean, it has been a month.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
Something to think about. Yeah.
So more traffic is picking up in this area. Shift change or something.
Yeah.
So y'all are
Yeah,
starting to
if there's
draw
something
more and
else.
more attention.
Ma'am, if there's something else, maybe head off before this shift change happens and more people come by and start asking a bunch of questions that are.
Yeah, that might be good. I enjoyed meeting all you, but that seems to be an awful lot of people moving around here.
But before you leave, do
You
you?
have a wonderful. Yes, good.
You said you sang. Do you all play instruments as well?
Occasionally they'll use like conch shells or something to make a sort of
Okay.
imitation of their song, but one you can do above water.
That may be useful for us to get in contact if we need to.
Oh,
I'll look into that more.
okay. Yeah. If you've got horns.
Yeah.
she's aware that you have other sorts of instruments up here.
Teak, I need to remodel the Model T.
What?
I need one of those trucker horns on it.
I can do that.
Oh, come on! But Model Ts came with little bicycle horns.
Oh, there's nothing to say I can't have both.
Fair.
The first one is a
also-
polite, please, sir, get out of the way. The second one is, I'm not asking again.
I'm also the first thing that popped in my mind was, you want to turn the Model Teak into a boat?
I thought she wanted to get like a tank on the back of it. That was my first
Me-
thought.
Give
Now we can drive
me
around with
a
a mermaid.
good enough roll. Give me a good enough roll, and he will make the first amphibious vehicle.
Let's see. Would it be the first amphibious vehicle?
Probably.
I have no
You'd
idea.
You
I
already
don't
had submarines
know.
by this time.
You already had
Yeah.
submarines, but I don't think there was a car version. But I Google.
There was the amphibious assault vehicles that were definitely in use by World War II.
Yeah, by World War
Because,
II,
you know,
yes.
So-
Those, like you're thinking of, were developed in the late 1930s. They were actually used in Florida.
Amphibious carriages, 1770s.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they had some that
Yep.
would float.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Okay then.
So the ideal, at least, is something that could potentially float around.
Yeah.
You might be the first person to do it with a car.
Teak's sitting here like,
Cheers. See how this one feels.
I would have
No,
to make a
no.
lot of modifications.
I'm waiting for a little while. I do need to see if I can use their office again.
Okay, well, Alita will take her
Don't
leave of you.
rat
She'll see you tomorrow. After most of the fishing boats have pulled out, she'll come in.
Don't rat out the mermaid.
Not.
So she hops off back into the water. Surprisingly little splash.
Well, it's all like
Yeah.
angular. Okay. As soon as she leaves, I look around. I'm like, so that happened.
As the victim of the assault, that was almost worth getting beat up for. A real
Are there
live
still
mermaid.
people like? Are there still people like because it's the shift change? Are there still people like lingering?
A few are. Once she left, several of them leave. A few of them
Okay.
walk up and start talking to Larry. Hey, what was that about? Mermaids in Lake Superior? What the? You hear at least one human guy. Do they grant wishes if you catch one? To which everybody
Teak will
not
just-
human in the conversation just stops and looks at him.
Yeah, even Teak's like looking at him.
Well, I just heard the stories. I don't know.
I'm much taller now.
So, it's caused a little commotion. There's enough witnesses that it causes a little commotion. Probably not enough that, Mermaid in Lake Superior will probably not be the
Yeah.
headline on the front page. Now, when
Thank
you hit
goodness.
page 2 or 3, it might be mentioned. But Michael wanted to borrow the association's office again.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Larry, walk you back to the office.
I need to borrow your all's phone for a
Oh,
moment.
sure. Well, you know where it's at from when you used it yesterday. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you calling the
No.
police again?
It's your phone, so better to ask before I comment.
Oh, sure. He's like, sure. Go ahead.
And because eidetic memory, and B, he has the card. He's going to call that detective.
Okay. Oh yes, you did have a detective assigned to that case.
Detective.
And I know I named him.
Detective Cole.
Greg Cole, yes.
Yep.
DT, that was probably my abbreviation for detective. And I believe he gave you his specific office phone.
Yep.
So it rings a couple times. Detective Cole.
Hello, detective. This is Michael Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
So, we have found another lead.
Oh, excellent.
There was someone else there. One that apparently stood by and watched.
Have you spoken to this person, or have you found a witness?
Found a witness, but one that is very shy of speaking to anyone other than my group.
So one of the strange folk.
Yes, sir.
Would they be willing, if your group was there, would they be willing to speak to me? Not a bunch of other officers, not a mass group of us.
I can see about asking next time we meet them.
Okay. That'll be soon, I hope.
Should be tomorrow. I can
Okay.
ask then, and I can get you a reply to that answer after that.
No, that's fair enough. But what did they see? I mean, you said somebody else was standing there watching.
Yes. What they saw was someone with a. It was from a distance, so not a lot of defining features.
Mm-hmm.
However, slightly shorter than me, and I am 6'1", if that helps you.
Okay.
Was wearing a long coat with the collar popped up, a hat pulled down over their head, and had a beard.
Okay. Not a whole lot to go on, but certainly better than what we had before.
Hmm.
At least it's a suspect now, or another witness.
And said individual stood by and watched as the victim was grabbed and dragged into the lake and then summarily drowned.
So this person see what did it? That was some weird bruising. The autopsy guys are still trying to figure out what could have done that.
Can I make an occult roll to see if I figure it out? Because I don't know if Leo shared what he learned.
No, I would have. Sorry.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably after
I
she
still
had
like
left, everybody catches up.
Yeah.
I still like to make an occult roll anyway, just to see if I get the check.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Hey! That's one for
Hey.
today.
All right, so you tell him what an undine is, or however you say that.
An Undine?
Undine.
Thought it was a naiad.
You're right. I'm getting this mixed up with something else.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I have, on my notes, I have Naiad.
I mean, they're both water elementals, typically
Yeah.
female.
There's a lot of those in mythology.
Yep.
While he's doing that, Teek's just gonna give another look around the place just in case anything else comes up. Maybe he'll find a boot print. Who knows?
Maybe.
I think Salvador just kind of watches her leave, and just looking in the water. Is it particularly clear because it's lake water?
Let's see. Yes. Yeah. 1920s Lake Superior, generally good water quality. Oh, with the exception of localized areas around Silver Bay, Minnesota, and pollution.
Okay.
So let's see, where were y'all? Let me look at the map. Where were y'all at? So y'all are down around 6. Yeah, y'all are upstream from where all the paper mills and slaughterhouses dump into the lake. So yeah, it's fine. It's pretty decent around here. You know, being right here at a busy dock, there's some trash floating in the water, but
So I'm just gonna take a peek in the water and see if there's anything weird looking back.
not really. Alita has swam off, and even if one of these water elementals were in there, you wouldn't see them because they're water inside water.
Yeah, well, can't hurt to check. Anyway,
So is it a naiad or an undine?
I think I said Naiad to begin with, so we're going with Naiad.
Yes,
that's what
you
I'm
did.
sticking with.
Well, from what knowledge that I've learned over the years, as well as the accumulated knowledge of my folk comrades, we believe it to be a naiad of some description. One that might potentially be under control of something, as its shape was not natural to their standard form.
And what's a Naiad usually look like? And then he checks and gets the spelling.
Humanoid. Humanoid, potentially sometimes with some elven features. Female, typically. At least that's how the stories go. And, however, this one was generating tendrils, and which is not normal for them.
Okay.
And the witness we spoke to called that into account as being odd, because if it wanted to drown someone on land, it would have just reached out and grabbed them around the face, given it's a creature of water.
Oh, creature of water isn't actually made of water. Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, so this
But
isn't a
it's-
strange folk. This is something. This is some magic something. Okay.
but given that it grabbed them and dragged them into the lake and then drowned them there, is not normal. Leading credence to the belief that there might be a potential ritualistic summoner or someone in control at play.
Maybe our coat and hat man.
That was my at present hypothesis, yes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Anderson, for keeping me up to date. Please impress upon your witness how important it is that they speak to me.
Are you,
I am.
are you gonna mention that?
Are you in the room, Patrick?
No, I was just gonna say, are you ever gonna bring in the fact that she's a mermaid?
Not right now.
Respect.
Unimportant to what he needed.
Now I'm just wondering, are you
Didn't
going to warn him
ask.
ahead of time, or are you just going to watch his face when he springs out of the water?
Yeah.
Turns beet red.
I will say, if she agrees to speak with him, then yes, he will warn the detective ahead of time once they meet in person.
All right.
There's
Her
something you
eyes
should know.
are up
Oh, too
here.
late.
But right now, he is more concerned about getting the information they've learned to the detective, thus not violating the oath he swore. So,
Yeah.
That's his primary concern there, because they did ask him to keep them up to date, which he is, since this is an active murder, and he works for the DA still.
Somehow.
Yeah,
Only barely.
yeah.
Only
Probably
of
because I rolled a
his-
special on that persuasion check.
And you had a few years of exemplary service, and the DA himself kind of likes you.
Yeah.
So you finish the call. About the time you're hanging up, an office door opens further in the building. You hear Vasley talking to somebody. I'm telling you, Jim, you're the man for the job. Hey, double check and make sure Jim was actually that guy's name.
It is now.
It was
Yep,
before.
too late.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
I remembered it correctly. The election's going to be soon. The union, with Rob retiring, the union's going to need a new president. I'm just some out of towner that's here to help. So I'm not trying to be in charge. I just want to help y'all organize, help you stand up against the capitalists. And you see Vasley and this other guy walk, which says, "Oh, Mr. Anderson, they haven't found another body, have they?"
No, they have not. We were just doing some more preliminary investigations.
Jim, this is Michael Anderson. Works the DA's office, and with the Bjorn. Mr. Anderson, this is Jim Mallory. Yeah, Mallory. And if I can get him to run, he's going to be the next president of the Longshoremen's Association. Jim's kind of like, let's not count chickens for the hatch, but he does reach out, shake your hand.
I was kind of hoping this guy would be named Charles.
Well, Jim, it's a pleasure to meet you.
That is a joke between me and Jason.
Charles. Oh,
That's Danny's.
Yes, because his last name is Longshore. You were reaching
Got
friend
there
of
eventually.
ours. Yeah.
So Vasley asked you, have you found anything else out?
Too early to say, although we do have a few leads that we are going to be actively investigating.
Vasley, you certainly sound like other investigators I've spoken with.
Yeah.
He looks
Old
over.
habits
He
die
kind of glances
hard.
over Jim. They tend not to want to talk too much about ongoing investigations. Until they have something particularly solid or have wrapped it up.
In my case, it's more of habit of protecting client confidentiality, given my line of work.
Oh, that's fair. Confidentiality is important.
That it is.
Jim tells you again how nice it was to meet you, but he does have to get to work. He heads out the door.
Do Jim or Vasley have a beard?
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, Vasley, I've already described. He's just got the little something in the mustache.
Yes. But more to the point with Vasley, how tall is he in comparison to Michael?
Vasley is 6 foot.
So just slightly shorter.
Yeah,
by like an
he is.
inch.
At any kind of distance, you probably couldn't tell who was taller between the two of you.
Okay.
Of course, that's also assuming that mermaids have, eyes like humans.
Yeah. It's assuming a lot of things, but it's what information they have, so,
It's what you
roll
go
the
with.
dice, as it were.
Yes, assumption. It makes an ass out of you and
yes,
me.
Jim does have a beard. He is human as
Okay.
well.
hmm
And he's a
Tall's
little bit
Jim.
he's a little bit shorter than you or Basley.
hmm Yeah. Um. Well, is there anything else you need here, Mr. Basley?
Oh no, I was just seeing Jim out, and then I saw you. By all means,
Yes.
you know, you need to get back to your investigations. Don't let me keep you.
Well, then, in that case, thank you for your time, and I wish you a pleasant day.
Oh, good day to you, sir. And he starts talking to Larry as as you're walking out.
Say, and as he's walking out, I will round 3 try to turn on his aura detection. If it, I'm kind of hoping it works, but no. Okay, it just doesn't want to work for me.
It's
That's fine.
not working today.
No, it's not.
Everyone you believed around you is of good nature.
It doesn't turn on, unfortunately, which sucks because I'd like to get that skill up, but eh. But yeah, in that case, he's gonna, since it doesn't go off, he is gonna just go ahead and leave.
Okay.
If it did go off, he was gonna try to do the psychic vibe check on a few people, but
All right. So while Michael's off doing that, what are the rest of y'all doing out by the shore or out by the dock?
Watching him
Teak
do
was-
that, actually.
Teak was gonna give another once through just to see if he could find anything else,
Okay.
just to make sure like they covered everything, all their ground and everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a search then.
Is there a search or is there spot?
Let me look at the sheet.
I think there's just spot.
Yeah, it's probably a spot. Too many games with too
What
many similar skills name different things.
Nope. Teak doesn't find anything. Oh hey, a she shop.
I'm
Nope, that's a piece
Which
of
would be
glass.
super weird around the Great Lakes. A seashell. A mussel? Makes sense.
Yeah, he picks it up. It's a piece of like glass from a glass bottle, and he's like, tosses it back down.
I'm
No, he'll throw it away. He'd throw it away.
because I know now what it is, but she actually described it. She didn't see it actually leave the water, did she? I'm going back to the.
She said she heard him scream. When she looked over, it was already starting to expand up out of the water, like lift up out of the water, not like walk up out of the water.
Okay.
And was starting to pop the tendrils. But yeah, the way she described it's like it lashed him, drug him into the water, and then held him down.
So it's basically like cement shoes without the shoes.
Right. And then just left the body floating there. And that was all, sometime during the night. She'd have a good sense of time, but not necessarily of what hour was what.
Considering where she said she saw it. Would I be able to, if this was summoned or controlled, how long, I don't know if this would be another occult roll or not, how long would that spell and or ritual last? So I also have ritual as well. Not my
Alright.
highest, but I do have it.
Let's see. Go ahead and give me another cult roll. We'll see how much detail you get.
Okay. 22. So
And that's on a. What is your what are you rolling?
Oh, 58.
All right, so 58. So okay, so 22 is a success, but not a special.
Dang. All right.
Yeah, you need a 12 for a special. Let's see. So elementals don't necessarily have time limits,
Let's see.
but a summoner invests a certain amount of his personal power into them.
Mhm.
In game mechanic senses,
Yeah, how many power points spent?
it's points of let's see. They come in 3 sizes. The one she was describing would probably be large. Thanks. I could use that in the previous paragraph. I'm sorry. There's a 15-minute time limit, more or less.
Oh, okay.
They just didn't have all that information together. You got to read the entire. And you know they are generally not self-motivated. So like if a summoner had told it to wait here and kill this specific guy, there's a good chance that it would get mixed up. It would get the wrong guy, or
yeah,
would wait for a while and then sort of wander off. Or
so it had. So, in other words, he knew it was meeting or prepared, or specifically had him targeted.
Correct. And being present, even with that time on it, he could probably re-up by just continuing to invest power. Not something, and as a spellcaster, said, that's not something you necessarily want to do for a long period of time. But
yeah. So they had a. But it also means if we ever run into him, that would actually give us at least an edge because we'd actually could focus him or at least keep him distracted enough to re-up.
Right. Potentially. Like I said, this is probably a different tradition of magic than you use, but this is
I'm getting more of a rough idea. Yeah.
All right. So do you have any more investigation you want to do at this point? Any other avenues you can think of, or do you break off to go do your other daily stuff?
Nope, I think it all got covered.
Okay. In that case, Charlie, you've got a shift at the hospital. Oh no, you'd worked the night shift before. That's what we had said that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working the night shift before.
That's right. That's right. So your day is free. Michael probably had some cases he could go work on.
Yeah.
So unless anybody's got something really specific, we're just gonna say you break up and you kind of go about your daily tasks.
The only thing Teak would do is buy the daily paper and apartment hunt.
Give me a luck roll.
Let's see. Oh wow!
So a
I
5 or a
succeeded.
25. It's just a regular success.
It just says a success, so I don't know.
So you find some apartments that you like, all right. You can afford them.
Kobold
It's at least
friendly.
as nice as the one you had before.
He'll give a call and schedule a time to go look at it.
The super tells you just anytime you want to come by. He's pretty much here all day.
Is it near any of the others, or is it a little bit farther out?
Where would you have been looking? Where would you have liked your house or would like your new apartment to be?
Probably he would probably be somewhere close to the diner and the office, or somewhere in that area, or closer to there.
Okay.
That way he's not too far away from work, but he would still be close to the office.
Okay, we'll say you found something about 4 blocks away.
Yeah.
Like you could drive over there next to no time, but it also wouldn't be a bad walk.
Yeah. Okay. He'll plan to go another day. He won't do it today.
Okay. So you set an appointment with Super. All right. So if nobody else has anything, we'll jump to the next day.
I will
Yeah,
just
moving.
quick question just to
Okay.
see if I could potentially grab a few more checkboxes on skills. Also, you said since his job is being a lawyer, that's
Mhm.
what he's doing. Could I potentially make a roll on law, maybe history, depending on the case, and eidetic memory to pull data while he's working?
Hmm. I don't know. That's all happening off camera. That does mean, though, I do need to start arranging for you to have cases to actually work, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if this was just going to be a behind the screens thing that might pop up occasionally as a active thing. So I figured I'd just ask to see if I could potentially think skill points into it.
Go ahead and give me the pick one of those skills and give me a roll on it.
Yeah.
Listen, you are a prosecutor, so
Yeah.
all right. So you have a few minor cases today. Person's caught stealing. That guy was caught red-handed. That's pretty much a slam dunk. You got another one for vandalism.
Yeah.
And it's the kid that was supposedly vandalizing the building versus the lady that owned it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of their word versus, just his word versus her word. But you managed to get him to slip up on the stand and sort of self-incriminate.
Okay. Cool.
You're not exactly being given the big juicy cases at the moment.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You have to be shown to be in the doghouse for a little bit.
Yeah. And he's still like, he's not being like
He's
about
just churning
everything.
through it.
Yeah, I mean he's treating every case that he's been given with the same professionalism as like the larger cases he had. Granted, some people might think having him on the smaller cases might be overkill, but
The defense attorneys certainly do. Oh, God. Give me a spot check while this is going on.
Okay. All right.
During one of the cases,
Mhm.
We'll say specifically the vandalism case because that is such a minor
Mm-hmm.
thing to go on. You notice your dear friend
Mm-hmm.
Estella Voss kind of sitting at the back of the courtroom.
Okay.
When you first, as the case is starting up, you kind of notice her. And she's got this little smug smirk on her face. It's probably the happiest you've ever seen her.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you do the thing and the kid ends up tripping his story up and incriminating himself, you kind of see her go, and she gets up and leaves. Apparently, the pity is strong with her.
Apparently.
Or she was already up here in the courthouse for some reason. Yeah, who knows? Maybe the mayor was around.
Maybe.
All right. Was anybody else have anything specific? Or are we good?
From the
for
docks?
next day?
No.
Okay.
I will say I think Teak did roll well to find an electric start for his vehicle. I think last time.
Yeah, I think you did.
So he would go. He would go and try and pick that up.
Okay,
tonight.
no problem.
So
You ordered it. It came in. I'm not sure how hard that would be to install on a car that didn't have one. Period.
he wouldn't install it until he was either in the new place or at his shop,
Okay.
where he could at least get some sort of like bonus or something for it.
So yeah, next day y'all show up at the docks. After the boats have left, Alita shows up.
Okay.
All right.
This time she just kind of swims up. She pops up and waves, so y'all notice her. And then when she goes down, she comes up at speed and just sort of hops out of the water.
Oh, you were just able to do that the whole time.
Teak's gonna give a quick look around and see if anybody's paying attention.
But she was kind of like, well, yeah, but I was trying to be stealthy the other day. You got to get a running go to be able to do that. I was literally under the dock when you were walking on the top, so I had to.
Well, since we do know she's going to be here this time, Michael does have a spare coat with him.
Yeah, you have to help her own, but she's kind of delighted to have it. Yeah, she's like, oh yeah. Now I couldn't possibly accept it on a permanent basis because a lot of drag in the water.
Just for while you're out of the water while we're here. You can give it back when we're done talking.
Oh, okay.
Vivian making notes.
I mean, I'm not that cold. She's like,
It's less cold and more he gestures. Where it may
Some
seem
gentlemen
normal
are
to
not
you,
gentlemen.
where it may seem normal to you, most land folk are clothed up top.
Oh, that's why some of those people like yesterday were blushing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to keep your modesty, if anything.
Their modesty, if anything.
Yeah.
I explained to her what modesty is.
If she doesn't know.
They have concepts of modesty. They're just not the concepts you've got.
In the beginning, God created Adam. No, I'm just kidding.
But
first there was the Big Bang, and then the Earth cooled.
Vivian did bring her violin just to test something.
So yeah, she'll put that on. And a few people wander by while you're. You almost get the impression maybe there's more people just coming up with reason to casually stroll this particular route.
And I
People
ruined
going
it for
around.
them by bringing a coat.
Well, they still get to see a
Excellent.
mermaid. I mean, it's
Hmm. Well, Alita, it is nice to see you again.
Oh yes, I'm glad to see all of you.
There is something that I do need to ask.
Mhm.
So there is someone that I speak to here on land that has been sort of leading the investigation into why that man was murdered by the Naiad.
Oh, I thought you were investigating that.
We both are.
Oh, you're hunting in
I
pairs.
was
That makes sense.
I was asked if you would be okay with speaking with him. I told him that I would ask first and give him an answer of yes or no, depending on how you felt about it.
Tig is just going to keep an eye out, by the way, while this conversation is happening. Just for security reasons.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, you see the occasional person walk by.
Yeah.
Every now and then you see when they clearly had not heard about the mermaid the day before, because they just stop mid-step and they're just kind of.
And Tig, when he sees that, Tig will just be like,
Just move it along. Move it along.
Nothing to see here.
The reason why I ask is part of how we do things up here on the surface is in order to legally chase after someone, we need to have someone that has seen what has happened. Right now, you're the only person that has.
Well, yes, but I've told you about it. So how is that different from me telling him about it?
he might have different questions.
That and I act independently of the law enforcement here in the city. In this capacity.
She clearly does not get all of your strange big city ways. She is a simple lake mermaid. Your big city ways, well, they don't confuse and frighten her. Confuse maybe, but confuse and interest her. I don't know.
Let me.
But yeah, you know, as long as she's nervous about large crowds because she's always been warned to be careful of large crowds of humans.
This would just be a single human being.
Oh, yeah. If he's somebody you're working with, she's sure he's fine. She can talk to him.
Okay, I will let him know after.
She's found somewhere a little quieter. Young could probably meet.
That would be ideal.
It's about a half-hour swim this way. She points down kind of down south, the southern along the shore. And she starts
Like
describing.
here-ish?
Pardon?
Like here-ish?
Not right by the little stream. Probably just a little bit. No, like y'all are probably up around here currently.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's probably down around here.
Okay.
Yeah, not quite far enough down to be getting all the butcher shop runoff.
Yeah.
Nobody would want to swim through that. But she starts to describe what looks or what sounds like probably a small neighborhood park.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of just a little spot in there, kind of sandwiched between more industrial stuff.
Yeah.
But she describes children playing there, during the day when she was scouting it.
Okay.
But it's got another little small dock, kind of like this one. And there are some trees close to the edge of the water, so even if the park was busy, you could slide over and be less seen.
That could work.
She really finds the human children adorable. It's like they don't really know how to use their legs sometimes. They fall down the line. Sometimes they cry. That's not so fun, but most of the time they just get up and start running again.
We need to find a dock outside of a bar for her.
So you need a shoreside speakeasy.
That was the main concern I had. If you all had any questions to ask her.
Vivian is like the most sheepest of sheepish. Anyone has probably seen her. I was wanting to test to see if you could hear this at any distance, since I don't have a horn.
She sort of looks at
Rosin it up.
Oh, what kind of instrument is that?
Violin. She'll hold it down if she wanted to look at it.
And she looks at it.
Little.
It looks kind of like something I saw a sailor playing one time, though he called it a fiddle.
They're cousins, kind of. And she'll be like, I'll go through a piece that has like a lot of high notes and low notes, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear any better or worse. Just because it's not going to be in the water, because I will not play this in the water.
She's like, yeah, stringed instruments do not work well in the water. It's
why we stick with horns. Expensive too.
Yes, it's why we stick with horns. Drums are very iffy too.
Air works best for traveling it. Water, not so much. And we'll roll. If I can find my character sheet again.
Yeah, I had to shuffle mine around to look at the map.
Yeah, it froze and hid behind something and froze again.
No.
Who what froze?
Hey.
Hey.
So she will cut loose. And let Alita?
Yes, Alita.
See if any of it's audible underwater.
Okay.
It's like it might be an easier way to get contact with them than, not at a great distance, but if anyone's near shore.
All right, so a violin sound travels through air approximately 1,000 meters. Or excuse me, 1,000 feet. 330 meters. Oh, per second. Yeah, that's not useful, is it? And through water, it just says thousands of meters. So yes, a little experimentation. She can hear the violin quite a bit further away than you would if you were on a boat, and then somebody on a boat out there would hear it.
Yay. If for some reason we need to get in contact with you at a time we don't all agree to, I'll go here to the park and play it. Probably the park.
All right, that sounds agreeable to her. Now, sometimes she has to go hunting with other people at the pod, so
yeah,
she's not always available.
Of course, just as a, my brain is failing. As a alternate method of communication, if we have to try and get a hold of you.
I would Salvador is holding back a sniffle, just wiping his face.
The
Like
violin nearly
slightly
touching.
turning pink.
Now, did you
Shuffles it
just
back
play
into
the
the box.
violin, or were you singing as well?
I can roll for singing if she wanted to test that out too. Sure, why not?
Oh, she quite likes the sound of your voice.
Damn it, why didn't I have a recorder?
Get the kazoo! This is gonna blow your mind.
Not that
Quite
kind of recorder,
literally.
but okay.
Yeah,
Even pinker and just says, "Thank you."
I will say after Alita says that, Michael just, I do too.
Completely, utterly pink. She is shuffling the violin back into the box very busily.
Tika will walk over and just pat her on the arm.
Salvador, Alita kind of looks at you.
Yeah.
Did we embarrass her? Does she not know she's good?
She knows she's good. She's just doesn't. You know how you don't like crowds? I think she's the same way.
Oh.
Excuse me. He pulls a handkerchief out of his the front pocket and just starts dabbing his eyes.
Typically, people don't cry at my music, so I'm a little.
It's good. It's good.
It's
Okay.
not that good.
It
Maybe.
is.
Maybe the piece of low music you did is a very sad, low sound or something. Alita's like, I wish you could hear. I wish you could hear my people sing, but you can't keep your heads underwater long enough. Not without help, anyway.
I mean, like a minute or so. Maybe. Well, maybe. That's a long time than I think it is.
Wow, only a minute.
We'd pass out and then we'd probably drown. So probably
Yeah,
not all at
you
once.
definitely drown when you pass out in the water.
Well, wait. We could submerge our heads and just have our ears below the water.
Good way to get
Like
swimmers
on
here.
a float on. Yeah, but worth it. Something to worry about later.
Are your
Whatever you do, don't
songs
throw me in the water.
audible above the water?
Well, we can sing, like she was singing. I mean, not exactly like she was singing above the water, but we use our songs to communicate over long distances under the water.
Like whales.
She's basically like, yes. Many of them are a much deeper sound.
Salvador will compose himself eventually. And just reminds me of home. Anyway.
Let's see. Alita would have a few questions for you. Nothing investigation related, though. She's just quizzing you about, surface life and life in the city.
Yeah.
Actually, how long will we be here? Because at me realizing Michael
I'm gonna
could
roll it again.
Well, maybe, but but I was thinking about Michael actually could, in theory, go call the detective, get him down here, and he could talk to her here.
Yeah,
depending on
and
how long
you
we're
could have done
gonna
that
be here.
while Vivian was doing some of her musical stuff.
Playing security guard, keeping an eye out.
Oh yes. Anybody keeping an eye out, which so far has only been Teak. Give me a spot.
Yeah.
Can I also use listen as well? Because he'd be listening for anything as well.
You can, but the
Yeah.
violin's playing, so.
Yeah, I'll help with spotting.
Okay.
Oh, I
Question.
succeeded. Yes.
Yes, you
Would
did.
Just so I
Michael
can
have-
roll, and I'm
would
pretty
Michael
sure I just
succeeded on
failed.
listening to.
Would Michael have come back from calling the detective by the time of this check?
Yep, failed.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 'cause you would just have to go up to use the phone.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I think Salvador's enraptured by the violent plague. Excuse me.
let's see.
Just start sneezing.
By the way, hey,
Even
I
or
am going
odd,
to
Michael?
say,
Even or odd?
Hold on. Odd.
Rolled a 2. So no, you don't make it back in time.
Okay, that's fine.
As for Charlie and Teak, Leo, you're keeping watch too, but you're glancing more out at the water,
Yeah.
or you're just not looking
We'll
the
say-
right direction. But
I will try to turn on aura detection though, just because I do want to try. Well,
Because
We're
you're
at-
fishing, you're fishing for a success. Understandable.
that and
4 times the
also-
charm.
Also, there is
6 or 7.
there is an elemental out here somewhere,
10% of the.
and since that power does let him see magic, it would be helpful as forewarning.
Hey guys, is that big blob coming towards us?
Not today, Michael.
The 5th time it'll happen. The 5th time it'll happen.
10% of the
trust me.
time, it works 100% of the time.
It's at least the 5th time because he rolled it in the last session too and didn't get it.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
I
think
think we're on
this
7.
is-
Every session starts a new counter.
This is either the
Reset
6th
the
or the
clock.
7th time in this act.
Yep.
This is about the 6th or the 7th time that I've tried and failed to activate that power.
That's okay. Never mind. I looked at my spot roll and it says I have a spot 25%, but I have to roll it below a 23. I don't understand that.
You have a little bit in whatever the what is
Like a tertiary skill.
Mental?
Oh, I have a
your-
-2 perception.
Yep.
Apparently.
Oh,
I'll
damn.
say your derived stat bonus is a -2. So
Yeah.
while your skill is 25, your derived stat bonus is reducing it to 23.
That's why
Gotta
Salvador
get
is
Teak
like
some glasses.
actually. That's why Salvador is really good at like talking, even though he doesn't do it so much.
No, yeah, my derived stat in communication is 15. So
all right, so Charlie and Teak have been like, and Leo to some degree, but you've been doing the whole what like Teak was like, kind of move along.
Yeah.
And like you've been here 2 days in a row. There was a murder. You've been in the papers. Everybody knows kind of who you are. That you're obviously working. So
Yeah.
they are good enough not to come up and bother you.
Mhm.
What Teak and Charlie notice is a fellow. He's standing just around the corner of a building, just a little bit out of sight. And you spot him kind of peek around once or twice. And then he sorts of eases around with like one of those big, like professional
Teak will
grade
put him-
cameras.
Teak will put himself between him and the camera. If he's trying to take a picture of the mermaid, he's putting himself immediately between them to where all the dude can see is Teak.
Leo will pick up Teak and hold him in front of the camera.
Just kobold face.
Just staring right at the
All
camera.
right, Charlie, what is your reaction?
Kobold
Oh,
Teak doesn't predominate.
Yeah, just kind of try to cover up the mermaid to not be seen. Or
So
at least
it's like
photos not
Teak.
taken care of.
It's like Teak and then Charlie.
Kind of doing this little.
Like Teak is small cobalt, but then like Elf is also blocking away.
Yeah. But y'all are
Teak
also the area y'all are in. It kind of slopes down a little bit towards the shore, so you got that kind of height difference.
yeah,
Forced perspective, Teak looks gigantic.
Teakzilla.
Geekzilla.
So he realized he's been made. He's like, he doesn't say it loud. He's not trying to, he's not trying to draw other people's attention. But come on,
Teak just shakes his head.
he stops. He looks at the roof of the building he's on, or that he's next to.
Tika look back. May want to hurry it. We got a paparazzi.
What's paparazzi?
Cameraman.
The weirdos with the cameras. The ones that like
News guy.
That was me wondering if I'm now googling if paparazzi was a thing in the 20s.
He would say,
word, so-
I don't know what the term would be in the 1920s. I'm just using it because everyone knows what a paparazzi is.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm just like, when did they start?
Yeah.
ooh, I don't like that one.
Yes, they did.
Oh, wow.
They were around then.
What's
Yeah,
up?
No, they were a thing. I just saw
Although the
googled
It wasn't. So
didn't
wasn't
come
a
into being until the
yeah.
1950s and 1960s. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
1961
I know, it's just-
was, but
Yeah.
I was just like, man, guys, we just got the cameras popularized.
yeah, because apparently in the 20s and 30s, New York was the place to be for people of that profession. Who knew? Things I've learned today.
Yeah, I'm not seeing where there's a specific term for it.
No.
That was
No.
probably they'd probably just call it yellow journalism.
Yep.
First instance of snatched photograph in 1898. Were able to capture a photograph of someone like on their deathbed through bribery.
And this guy
I'll
looks
pay
young,
you
so he's
money
probably,
to take pictures of me on my deathbed.
for a while, I forget what they called him, but
Memento memorios.
yeah, you'd take photos of your recently deceased just so you'd have a picture of him. And the body would be posed in a attempt at a realistic pose. Or lifelike pose.
Oh
Ghost
my
mothers.
lord!
You could always tell because they had the little black up under the eyes where the blood was pooling.
Yeah.
It's kind of morbid.
It is.
But it was a time when you probably didn't have a lot of pictures of your loved ones ahead of time. So
Yeah. Well, because taking a photo was like a big deal.
Yep.
Which has actually ended up getting Sundance, like the Wild Bunch actually caught.
You're not stealing my soul today, you soul snatcher.
Yeah, because the Wild Bunch, like, since they just pulled off a heist, they celebrated by getting a photo together. Well, the photographer, like, oh, this is a really nice photo, made a copy and had it hanging up in his window, and a detective walked by and basically did the double take.
So he does a quick little, like, he kind of goes, shoulders slumping to feet, and he takes like a quick 5 steps to one side and tries to snap a quick picture.
Tika bump.
So if the two of you want to try to block him, you can roll. I don't think this would be any particular skill. I think this would probably just be a stat roll.
Stamina or no? Agility?
Agility would work.
Since Teak announced that they were moving around, can Vivian get in on this?
Circle.
Yes, anybody can move to kind of block side of her.
Yeah. And
Normal?
What are we rolling?
What up?
Right?
Dexterity.
Just dex.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to move
got a
quicker than
18.
him before.
Oh, I succeeded.
Right on the money too.
Do I? I don't roll for that stat.
That
No, you can't level it up.
I fire my gun.
that would be a
Shoot him.
right there.
I don't shoot him. I fire my gun. That's not. I didn't say I shoot him. I said I fire my gun.
Fired and I missed.
Let's not draw more attention. Damn.
Yeah.
Gunshot. Guns go off at docks.
Union to blame?
Not if I do first.
Grab Teak. Are you ready for some prolonged Teak contact?
Nah, I could just throw the cobalt at the cameraman.
Look, we're not eating the
maybe
teak,
if you-
okay?
Maybe if he was better at like physical fighting, like a monk or something, we could throw him. Like
God, he
tactical
could
got a
wrestling.
plus
grab
8
the
in
camera
physical.
and run off with the camera.
But all you did was shoot before. We don't know that.
I don't know why my strength is better than everything else.
All right. Next time y'all run into a brew, you got to box it.
Box it in. Box it in. Box
I
it
just
in.
imagine
box it in.
that, like,
I
I just
tried.
imagine that
Didn't
you're
work
gonna
well.
have this thing where everyone, it's just this suddenly this boxing ring pops up and it's Teak and the brew and the guns disappear and you're like,
No,
oh
no.
god.
Teak pats
The
his
weirdest
pistols. No,
rocket
no.
and sock'em
Not these
robots
guns.
ever.
These guns.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Teak's holding his gun, suddenly they're not in his hands anymore, and he has to fist fight a brew.
The brew and teak in a steel cage.
Okay, so quick question now.
Mhm.
Me coming out of the office potentially. Do I see this happening?
First thing you notice, as you're getting back over to the area, first thing you notice is all of your compatriots in weird poses. Then you spot the guy with the camera doing this little number.
Sir, can you please stop?
He's off in the distance,
He's a little
unless
bit away from you.
unless he's nearby.
You could yell it at him and he would hear you, but
He'll just walk over and just like, sir, will you please quit?
do you know how? Oh, this would get me in so good with the boss, though.
It would get you into a lot of trouble as well.
It's not illegal to take a picture of somebody. I mean, it's not like she's topless like I heard she was yesterday. I mean, that was probably just a rumor. I'm not trying to say anything about her.
She's also a witness.
You are also in the process of very nearly interfering in a criminal investigation. So I suggest you please leave.
That sounds like that should be a roll.
Persuasion?
Let's see, persuade. Yeah, because intimidate and stuff falls under persuasion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or is intimidate its own thing?
I don't think intimidate is a skill.
No, I think persuade covers. It doesn't matter what
All right.
method of persuasion you're using.
I mean, I know there's command, which Salvador is very adept at.
Yes.
So yeah, give me a persuade roll. Ooh,
Jesus. All right.
Out that.
Move.
clearly
bitch.
this
He
guy doesn't
realized who
realize.
he is.
Clearly, he does not realize that the Bjorn don't have any official policing powers.
Yeah.
Maybe he just read they were working with the police, and he was like, "Oh." He's like, "Oh, I didn't mean that at all. It's just, I mean, a mermaid. How often does that happen? I'll go."
Please do.
And he vacates rather quickly. You clearly convinced him that he was about to get himself in a lot of trouble. Alita is like, leaning around where she can kind of peek around you to see what was going on. Was he pointing a weapon at us?
I'm his back.
No, it was a camera.
Oh,
And
okay.
a camera. Have you heard of those?
Oh, yeah. Newspapers fall in the water sometimes. They don't last very long, but, we know what. I've seen pictures.
He was trying to get a picture of you.
Oh, it'd be kind of, At first, like, she perks up like, oh, it'd be kind of neat. Oh, wait, then everybody in town would know I was here. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I figured you'd want to stick, seeing as you just moved here.
She's like, yeah, I don't, the pod, my pod doesn't know, we don't expect to keep ourselves secret forever. But they might not be happy with me running over here so much. But y'all wait a little while. Detective Cole shows up.
Yep.
And if I recall the conversation on the phone, Michael, I think, forgot to mention that the witness was a mermaid.
No, if he saw the car pulling up, he would go and intercept Detective Cole first.
Okay, the greeting, shaking of hands.
And fill him in quietly between them that he is meeting a mermaid. So.
Huh. I mean, working where I do, I've read up, on known strange folk. I'll admit, I kind of thought that one was a myth.
I'll admit, so too did I.
Then y'all walk down.
And
He sees
he
the
would
coat and goes, "Oh, I
introduce-
figured she'd be wearing seashells or something." Well, I guess if they're in the lake,
He'd introduce Detective Cole to Alita.
They make introductions.
Now, Alita, if you would tell Mr. Cole here what you told us yesterday.
I mean, she relays the story just like she related to you. You know, he does the cop thing where he asks a lot of the same questions slightly differently.
Mhm.
But her story stays pretty consistent. I mean, it's not. You know, he asks if there's some way he can contact her, and she's like, "Do you play the violin?" And he just looks baffled, and then kind of glances over at Vivian because Vivian's still holding her violin. Or did you put it back?
She put it in the case.
Okay,
She's
well,
at least holding the
The
case.
case is there.
Sound carries.
Oh. What if we could set up a underwater foghorn?
Might draw the wrong kind of attention.
Fair, fair.
Incoming Naiad. Kaiju clips.
Jaegers.
Aww. We sure know Alpha.
That was the last game.
They do have a Pacific Rim tabletop game though. I'm just saying.
They do.
Yeah, it's for
Which
everyday
reminds me,
heroes.
there's something I need to look up on Steam when we're done.
I don't have the Pacific Rim game, but I've got Everyday Heroes and I've got the rules compendium, so I've got the rules for Giant Mix somewhere. And Giant Monsters. Alright, but so you know, he's talking to her. And at a certain point, maybe he's stretching the conversation out a little bit because he's talking to a mermaid. And even for a seasoned investigator, that's still just kind of a unique situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, like she tells him how long, the pod, we've just moved in the area. She only gets evasive when it's like, kind of, where are you folks? How many of you are there?
Yeah.
It's like she's got basic security concerns, sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah, some OPSEC.
And now I need everybody to give me spot.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh. All right.
Ooh, that was a fail.
Oh, I fumbled.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
that's
Teak fell in the
actually-
water.
So it's Salvador.
Where is my spot?
Actually, I'm gonna
39.
reroll. I'm gonna reroll that.
Success.
I don't want
Yeah.
Salvador to fucking.
Okay, look, I'm not, because Teek's gonna fall out.
He saw it, but he can't tell us about
I'm
it because
also
he
gonna
passed it out
reroll.
into the water.
Hey, that went. Shoo.
You see it so clearly. You want to get an even more intense look by diving into the water.
Teek's walking
Elf
around.
struggle
trips
buddies.
and-
Hey.
All right, so we wound up with some failures, some fumbles,
I think
one
we all ended up with
success,
successes
and then
now.
a couple of specials from rerolls.
Yeah, I've got a
Fumbles.
success, just standard.
Okay.
The fumbles got cleared by, well, except for cars.
Mm-hmm.
You just see like everyone else is just like da 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 da, and then you just see Teek like face down, like spinning like a hockey puck across the dock.
Bless him.
Oh, let me roll for the detective. I'm going to say the detectives are distracted while they're rolling. And Alita's not looking in the right direction. Everybody that got a success, just a regular success,
Mhm.
you notice a bunch of ripples in the water.
Okay.
Just enough that you're like, that's a little odd. The guys with the specials, you specifically notice the ripples are like steadily going one direction despite the waves, on the shore going back and forth.
Are the ripples coming towards us, by chance?
Yeah, they're in generally a towards the dock motion. You notice them when they're about 20 feet away, maybe.
Right within striking distance. Yeah, good.
Getting close.
Yeah,
If you wanted
it's
to run
possible.
up, if you wanted to run up and strike them.
You know,
Guys, guys.
Actually, no. I have my duffel bag. The rifle's coming up.
Yes. The water's
Pointing,
moving.
pointing, pointing.
Weird.
Nope. There's that. That's something.
I'm,
We've got company.
Detective,
I'm gonna-
and he grabs detective and like hauls him back.
Teek's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Alita's like, what's going on?
He'll
Anyone
actually,
you know, Alita?
if he has his hand on both, he'll grab them both and pull.
I think
How
Alita will be okay in the water.
Yeah. We'll actually
Not
say
if it's after her.
it's the. Oh dang it! What was it? The Nikon. How'd you pronounce that again?
Naiad.
Naiad?
We
Udine?
think it's the Naiad.
Okay. Michael had explained what the Naiad was, the detective. So he immediately,
Yeah.
he's looking at it and he. Oh, I thought he rolled an old 9, but no, it's a 90. He's still not quite catching what he is until the water starts bulging up. Then it becomes kind of obvious to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what is your strength, Michael?
10. So
Okay.
average.
Give me an effort roll. We know the detective starts moving under his own power pretty quickly, but
Yeah.
so give me an effort roll to see if you can haul.
Nope.
She's heavier than she looks,
Okay.
and you realize,
Teek help?
Thick.
Yeah.
Now that he sees what's going on, can Teek help?
well, you realize
Yeah.
that waist down portion is all muscle. So despite not looking like she'd be all that much bigger, than a human, or, roughly her height or length, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah, she is a little heavier.
In which case, he just go, would a Naiad hurt you?
It could hold me under till I drowned. Or,
Can you outswim it?
crush
And
me
my first thought,
potentially.
wait, you can
Can-
drown?
Can Teek help? Like move her?
Yeah, you can run up and grab her
I'll
other
certainly
arm.
drown her. I will actually give her
I'll give an
hand
effort roll. He's got a 14 strength.
I
What he's made for.
I want to see Teak bench presser.
Just whoop.
I am here for the fact that Teek just outmuscles Michael. I'm here for it.
Teak, yo.
all
Hell
right.
yeah.
52.
Hey,
Let's go.
Hey.
Michael's clearly struggling. You run up where he's got one of her arms and kind of got her lifted up. It's like you just sort of run under there. And you catch
Let's go.
just about where her waist would, about where the human and dolphin parts kind of meet, or well, what do you want to call it? Right around there is about where you put it on the neck. And you're just kind of like,
For a split second before he touches her, he just goes, "Excuse me," and then just grabs her and just goes.
He does that
Sorry,
whole,
ma'am.
He does that whole cartoon, immediately lift up and bounces as he's running her away.
I have
Michael.
the perfect image.
Michael, still backing up away from the water, also sees that now that she has been lifted out of his hands by a kobold. He's like, I need to work on some strength training.
the dick's
Is
like,
the
what are you
bulge of
feeding
water
that
taking
guy?
any kind of shape? Is the bulge of water taking shape yet?
Yeah, you said it has emerged.
Yes, it was starting to kind of bulge up.
Mhm.
I'm
And it's like at first it starts to take a humanoid form.
Uh-huh.
To the point that it's even got like facial features.
Uh-huh.
And then its face sort of distorts, almost like it's in pain, and it just sort of blobs out a little bit more. So it becomes a little less distinct. The arms basically lose definition and become just tendrils of water.
Leo, look for the controller.
That's what I was going to ask. I'm going to try to actually use... That was the... Where is... I forgot to put that one down. Essentially, try to use the detect magics, but I'm focusing because now I know the controller has to be nearby.
Well, he's got to be within,
Okay.
by your understanding, 15 minutes of travel.
Okay.
See, does basic role playing have a version of the elemental? Ah, okay, there we go. All right. So we are going to consider ourselves to be in initiative order at this point.
Alright.
There's of course
Goes
no
by
rolling.
dexterity.
Yeah, it goes by dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
If you pop up a tracker, we can all drop ourselves in.
Yeah.
16.
I was blanking on what the new or newish tracker order thing looked like because Roll20
I
changed some of
thought
the
we
icons.
could.
My turn.
Oh, we have to drag our icons on.
Yep.
Okay.
So dexterity.
Yeah, just type it in as your dexterity.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, hang on 1 second
Yeah,
while
it goes
I
off. It
remove
goes off
all of these.
dexterity unless you're using a power.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it goes off of the mental. Crap, I knew it and then I forgot it. Probably because y'all avoided fights for the last 5 sessions.
Apologies. So we roll agility for this.
No,
No, it's just your agility.
score.
Okay.
Huh.
It uses a sort of static
not remember.
initiative.
Double checking. Thank you.
I can't add myself to the turn order, but
Yeah. I'm having
Should be able to
issues
right-click
too.
yourself.
If you right-click your icon, it should be add turn.
yeah, there we go. Okay.
You have to drag your icon onto the map and then right-click it.
But yeah, initiative is your dexterity, unless you're using a power, in which case it's your intellect. Is your turn.
My icon is not wanting to drag.
So like Michael, for example, if I was doing something physical, my order would be at 12. If I wanted to use one of his powers, then my order would be at 18.
That's not.
All right, I'm going to drop you on the board, Patrick.
All right.
And
All
I
right.
have added you to the turn initiative. What
I'm
is your dex?
16.
16, all right. And
Wait, we're rolling for
you-
combat? What do I
Well,
roll for combat?
it's not rolling. It's just your dex. Let me see.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a
Whatever your character's dexterity
picture.
score is
Oh.
whatever your
Oh,
initiative
for
in
some
combat
reason,
is.
Charlie. Oh, that's weird. For some reason, Charlie's not down with the rest of the characters. Yeah, we'll need to get Charlie a picture at some point. All right. But that just means you get to be the
Jackie.
generic shadowy looking character.
Okay.
And what is your dex?
16.
All right. Oh, and I need to throw out the Naiad. And its dex is not super impressive. Alright, there we go. I hit sort, and I assume it just randomly sorts everybody that's in the same initial order. Alright, Charlie, you are up first. Everybody's pulling back from the dock, or several people are pulling back from the docks. This water thing is raising up. It is quite large.
I do have my revolver, so I guess what? I rolled to see if I hit,
Yes.
right? Okay. Failed. Okay.
Remember to keep track of how many shots you've taken, because you do have to reload as an action.
Okay.
Some of us also have multiple shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like you reduce it by
5, I think.
5 or
I'm using a medium revolver, so I don't know. I guess it's 1 shot per, right?
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some weapons have multiple, but
I fire again at 7.
let me bring up Charlie.
How many was it reduced? 5?
Mhm.
Okay.
No,
I'm just going to add my second one in there.
This gun does say SR/attacks 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a gun that you can rapid fire.
Can't fan the hammer with that one.
Have to get it modified to do that. All right, so your shots ring out. Leo, you are up next.
Did she miss or hit?
She missed.
I missed.
Okay. Do I know of any known weaknesses of these things?
I think I've given you all the information that you got off your initial success.
Okay.
Now, if you want to roll again, I would let you roll again. Since I'm sure, since anybody in this situation, your mind would be desperately scrambling for anything that you think could hurt.
What the hell is this?
And or get me away from this thing.
That is a 4.
A 4 is pretty good.
Is that a critical for you or is it special?
Mine is a 58.
All right, so a 58. It is a special. You need a 3 for a critical.
Damn it.
Barely
So
off.
close.
But special will hopefully give me just more information.
Right. Let's see. Let's see. You know. Oh, you said you were specifically looking for weaknesses. So let's see here.
Yes.
Oh, I know why that was confusing me. Earlier, I was looking at the elementals in RuneQuest and not Basic Fantasy, and they're statted up a little differently. Okay. Okay. Because I was sitting there, when I was seeing they didn't have an intelligence, I was like, wait a second. But, okay. specific weaknesses are a little lacking on these things.
Yeah.
You know, let's see. Okay, that lets them do that. Sorry, there's a paper, rock, scissors thing with elementals. I'm trying to see what it is.
Always reliable rock.
Okay, so where's the... Alright, so that one destroys fire. So maybe fire? How in the world does fire destroy water?
Dries it out.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. Alright, so you know
Yeah,
a
you
fire
have to
elemental
rinse it.
can, at the cost of its own life, destroy a water elemental of equal power. And that's pretty much it for what you would consider to be real weaknesses. They can, they can drive people to touch. Become invisible in water. Y'all were already talking, Alita was already telling you about that. And you know they are basically immune to normal weaponry.
I'll let it be known. Guns won't help us here.
And in fact, they tend to
That
rust
won't stop
metal
me.
weaponry. I mean, they won't rust a lead bullet because lead don't rust. But
Most of
I'm
my
going.
weapon is wood.
I'm. Because it's mostly just at this point just a blob of water.
yep, sort of a towering. Like I said, it's got the tendrils come out of each side where the arms were when it was taking a humanoid form.
I'm going to try. Well, that would be still more, so it'll take time. I'm going to more or less kick dirt into it and basically see if it takes on a more solid form. Or if it slows it down at all.
Okay.
Fucking sand.
It's a substantial amount of dirt.
Now, what do I need to roll for that, or?
Is there a throw skill? I mean, you can,
Yes,
you can,
there is.
you're at the shore line. You can reach down and scoop up a handful of something.
Yeah.
So give me a throw.
Oh,
It's under swim.
I see it.
And what,
Hey!
and what is your throw skill?
25. And I rolled a 13.
All right, that's not gonna be a special or anything, but yeah, big clump of dirt goes into it, and he's just sort of floating there and breaking up, and he's becoming a little bit muddier. To affect something this big, you're gonna need a lot more dirt than you're probably,
I'm gonna throw at it, yeah.
be able to throw at it while it's actively coming after you. Though, if you had like a dump truck or
The other thing is, like, get cement and throw it into it. That was another thing I was thinking.
not an attack you can improvise very well,
Yeah.
but maybe later we all set up the Scooby-Doo style trap.
Oh, I will.
It'd have to be hydraulic or hydraulic cement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vivian.
She's just gonna panic.
Panic is a free action.
Yeah, panicking is a free action. Try to get away without drawing attention, because they're on a little dock, and this is a water creature, and she does not want to get drug into water.
All right, give me a stealth roll. Or sneak, or whatever it's called.
I'm actually good at that. If my character sheet will ever pull up again. Okay.
When will my character sheet return from the war?
Okay. So it's not that you like disappear from
Hard like
sight.
that.
You just sort of walk casually away, getting a little distance between you and the rest of the group.
Head
Kind of cut
up.
off to one. It seems to be coming straight this way, so you're kind of banking off to one side.
Head up, shoulders back, murder. Look like you belong here. Remove the string instrument from the water area.
Do you want to go, or do you want me, or would you rather
Eric.
me go?
Eric is up next, though. Anybody that's at the same number can swap around if they want to.
That's why I'm asking.
You go ahead, man.
Okay. Salvador's turn is gonna be very simple. He sees his allies around. He's like, I'm gonna get its attention. You guys get help. And he fires his rifle in it and is gonna just run in the opposite direction.
All right, give me a roll.
That's a failure. Holy shit.
Clearly, the elementals got you shook. You didn't see nothing like this in the war.
Nope. He's fires. He's still gonna try to get its attention, but he's like still running that in the direction opposite to where his allies are.
All right, then it's Eric.
He is unarmed on a dock with a water elemental coming at him.
Punch it.
Punch it.
He doesn't have magic hands. He can't exactly do that.
That we know of.
As far as you know, he's never successfully hit anything. So yeah, he's gonna just try to get off the dock.
Okay.
Getting the out of there.
Yeah, you got plenty of movement. And it's like this was a small dock intended for almost a little recreational type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of the workers just fish off of it. But
yeah.
So yeah, you're off the dock. You're on solid land.
Okay.
Then it is the Naiad's turn. It doesn't climb up on this little dock
Does it slurp?
so much as the dock kind of folds up under it and starts breaking, and pieces of it are breaking off.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
I don't like that.
Look at that. This was a little, wooden one. So.
Okay.
Did Vivian get all the way onto solid land or no?
Yes.
Does she hit it?
The
Okay.
dock's not that big. You could get on solid land. Like I said, you
He
got
has
on it and
one
kind of cut
job.
to one side.
Protect the innocent.
Super teak.
I just imagine Teak just like just carry the mermaid away.
The whole Hanna-Barbera like wheel spin feet.
Me now glad Michael actually brought a spare coat because
That would be awkward to explain to so many people.
yeah, it would.
All right.
I think I'm currently the only one in its current clutches still.
Well, it's getting within reach of Teak.
Okay.
I mean, Teak would just be running with her, so.
But Teak's action is after her.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But it's the same, and you could say we could swap.
Any way that y'all want to. Unfortunately, the Undine or the Naiad does not want to swap.
Respect.
So it is taking.
I'll roll whatever you want me to for Teak to take the hit.
bitch slaps you with the water tentacle.
Yeah.
All right, so it needs to succeed in a touch attack. So
Is
it
it
is
roll
lashing.
whatever
It is lashing its tendril out, and going for Alita's face.
As I said, I will
That
roll whatever you
bitch.
want me to for Teak to try and take the hit instead of her.
All right, so Teak, you hear her scream because the way you've got to hoist it up, she's looking behind.
Mhm.
So I'm going to say you hear the scream, and it's like you rotate partway around to see what's going on.
Yep.
Give me a. Should it be a luck roll?
Dexterity.
Agility, stamina, effort. I mean, he's
I forget. Is dodge a
Yeah.
skill?
Yes.
dodge
It
is a
is.
skill.
Yes, it is.
Give me a dodge roll. This is not for you
I've
to
got
dodge
to
out of the
find-
way. This is for you to just maneuver her out of the way. Because you were specifically saying
There it
you would
is.
take the hit, so.
Nope. 75.
So she will take the hit if he hits. He still has to make the roll.
Mm-hmm.
She's a mermaid. She should be fine-ish.
Probably.
For an hour, I think she
Yeah,
said.
she can hold her breath for an hour.
She's just getting slapped.
Well, that's just how I was describing it. It's trying to engulf her head.
Ugh.
Because even a dolphin doesn't do well if you force water into its lungs.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, so 50 or less. That is a 23.
It's definitely 50 or less.
Yes. All right. To drown an opponent, a water elemental engulfs the target's mouth and nose in a bubble of water. If it has succeeded in a touch attack, all further drowning attacks against the target are easy until the target has either broken free or is dead. See rules for drowning. This attack costs the water elemental an equivalent number of hit points to the damage inflicted on the target. It may cease the drowning attempt at any time. So it's literally using portions of itself. Let's see. Spot rules should have drowning. But apparently
Just
do not.
book it, T. Book it.
Teak's whole plan is to toss her in the Model T and get the hell out.
Well, unfortunately, this thing's got a hand on her face.
Yeah, I know.
it's
So he's
lost.
got to break her free if he can.
There's just water between them, right? Just run through the water.
I don't know if that works with Naiad, but
It's
Me
water
neither.
is its body. All right, let me take a quick glance at the drowning rules, which in hindsight I should probably have checked out ahead of time since I knew this thing was here. 145. Choking, drowning, and asphyxiating. She needs to roll a con times 5. Okay, so her first roll is she's only got to roll an 80 or less. All right. So she hasn't really started drowning yet.
Yep.
Or it hasn't really started damaging her yet, but she Let's see. Okay, she only starts taking damage as she fails the rolls. The rolls do, however, start getting harder and harder. This one was con times 5. Next time will be con times 4.
Ah.
It starts off con times 10 if you have a chance to hold your breath, but that's like if you fell into the water, sort of thing. Not
What does
somebody's
Teak have to
trying
do
force
to
it.
free her?
Well, it's holding onto her
Yeah.
face while you're doing this. So I'm going to say it's you and the elemental. Imano.
So,
Basically,
effort
Grapple
roll?
check.
basically
It's a grapple check.
what you will do, because I'm not going to be rolling
Okay.
him, his strength is going to be the resistance. We're going to use the resistance table. Or in your case, it's a little thing
Okay.
up on the sheet.
Yep, I see it.
Let me get back to his stats.
I have a 0 versus a 0.
All right, put your strength
That
in
feels incorrect.
The left side, I guess.
Yes, put yours on the left side.
Okay.
And then his strength. Let's see. Because I said this was a large. Oh, no, this would be a medium, which is still quite a bit bigger than a person.
Mm.
Put a 17 in the other one.
Okay.
You got this.
And then I just click the resistance table.
Then you click the resistance table.
God damn it.
So you're
Not that
tugging
much,
on
but
her.
yeah.
It's got her by the face. You're like, "Argh."
There's no way to get between its hand and her then.
No, not really.
Hmm.
Not when it's trying to, grab her. I mean, if you ran through a door and slammed the door shut, you might more or less lop the tentacle off.
Mm.
You're really not sure though. Elementals aren't they're not cars. They're not something you've dealt with.
Yeah.
Is there any? Well, I assume there's not like a pipe or something near him that he could grab and try.
Not when he's holding her over with two hands anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Top of the order. Oh no, I'm sorry. Bottom of the order. I apologize, Salvador.
Actually, I think if
That
If
only
the
count
dude's
if I'm
doing anything
taking
else.
multiple shots.
Are you taking a shot?
She was gonna try distraction, but I don't know if it'll count because I don't know if that's just for the multiple shots on a gun rule or multiple actions.
Yeah,
in
the
an
whole idea behind
initiative.
that is some guns you can fire very rapidly,
Okay, I was just
so you
making
kind of
sure.
get multiple.
Okay, I will take that other shot though. That's why I put my other initiative in there.
Okay.
Can I aim for I imagine the space where the tendril is a little thinner than like the rest of its body.
It is. Let's see, given its size, it's probably about as thick as Salvador's leg.
Salvador's an elf. That's not saying much. I can blow up someone's leg with a rifle.
Oh my god.
It's like, are you an elf or an elf?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, there
so
are people in the area.
I will be aiming for that, like the equivalent thereof of like a joint that is holding.
Okay.
That is
So
holding,
you're aiming as far down the arm as you can, where it's at its narrowest.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
far
yes,
enough back
yes.
that you're not worried about hitting her or the teak.
Right.
Unless
Correct.
you fumble.
Let's just not fumble.
Give me a roll. That's it. Just don't fumble.
Just roll a 20.
Just
roll.
Just don't.
Just roll a 20 most of the time would work in this game as well.
Special. Let's go.
Nice.
Just roll special.
Yeah.
All
Guaranteed
right.
tactic works every time.
Roll your damage.
Yep. Yeah. Huh.
And a special
A special
give
does
me
special
score.
things.
special damage summary.
Special.
Mm-hmm.
This would be
Going
guns, I
to
believe,
be-
count as impaling.
That is 13 impaling damage.
Double,
on that.
you double the weapon's dice.
Okay, so I roll 2 more dice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 17 total.
All right, so that's 17 points of total points of damage.
This isn't like major wound though, right?
No.
Or no, that's something completely different. Never mind.
So it's immune to normal attacks.
Uh-huh.
So the damage you did doesn't actually hurt it or deduce from its hit points.
That's fine.
But I'm going to say that you disrupted kind of its, how relatively solid it was at the moment.
Uh-huh.
That part kind of goes, so everything
That's
kind of
all I
above
wanted.
where you hit turns to water, hits the ground, but then the water starts very quickly running back towards the beast.
Run, Teak! And I run the other way.
And Teak, you hear Alita kind of.
You all right, Missy?
I'm fine.
Chit chat later.
Well,
Teek's
Alita ain't got
running.
nothing else to do. Teek's the one carrying her.
Yeah, Teek's
yeah.
like as soon as he's free, he's running with her.
But yeah,
Teek
it was trying to
the Model
force
T.
water down my throat, or down my, well, probably not my throat, down my lungs.
Gills, if she has gills.
She does
You
not.
said she's
Mammal.
more like a dolphin.
She is mammal based. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Her people. She's mentioned that
Okay.
there are fishy ones, but they mostly live deeper.
Gotcha.
Her people are mammals and live at the surface because they got to surface every hour or so.
Deep sea angler fish mermaids. We need them.
It's the
Ugh.
it's the river Zora
my
and
God.
the sea Zora.
The weird thing is, in their backstories, they are actually related, despite how different those.
Mm-hmm.
But the gods are involved, so stuff gets weird, freaky deaky.
Mm-hmm.
As it typically does.
Mm.
Oh, RuneQuest got some weird stuff in there too. Very true to the Bronze Age. All right. So you managed to break the hold. Teak is running further inland now.
Mm-hmm.
Not that having to travel across land is necessarily going to stop this thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to make a little roll for him. Well, that can wait till its turn comes up. All right, so I think we're at the top of the order again, which is Charlie.
Which we'll be running to.
It is
Land.
9:30.
It's
So because I do wanna-
9:40.
I do want to take a crack at this.
Yeah. It's
I'm
9.
actually going to be going on initiative 18.
Oh, you're switching
This
over to an
time.
ability?
Magic.
Okay. In that case, the order will start
Yeah.
with Eric. Since he's using a mental power this time.
Yeah,
Oh.
So be
He
thinking
wants
what
to
you want to do,
try-
Charlie.
he wants to try to see if that caster's here.
So we're rolling Aura.
Come on, sight beyond sight.
Yay!
Oh,
got
finally a
it.
success.
Only
Beep, beep,
Got it where it
beep,
counted.
beep.
Yep. Okay. Can I do a
Thanks
quick?
for telling the story.
Yeah, no kidding.
That power is Aura Sense.
Or a detection.
Detection.
Let's him see. I do not want to open the calculator.
Sight beyond sight.
Yeah.
You're dating
Under.
yourself there.
Under.
Teak. Or
Hmm?
Gar.
Yep.
I said
Do
you're
what?
kind of dating yourself there.
Yeah, I know.
We're all thinking it. We're all dating ourselves.
It's okay.
Yeah.
They've already done the carbon dating. I'm fucked.
Eyes.
They chopped me open. They counted the rings.
Yeah.
That kid-
So
Same vein. Eyes of the Hawk. You remember that show?
Nope.
Yeah.
I do.
alrighty. So It is, yeah, with a make an idea roll, determine if healthy or disease, benevolent or evil, how much so, full of power points, overcharged, lower depleted, more powerful and a much stronger, equal to, weaker, much weaker scale, Can do a spot roll to detect changes or minor elements of an aura. Can detect possessions. Reveal the presence of any supernatural forces at work on a subject. Curses, blessings, magic items in their possession, etc.
Okay.
I'd like to roll to find that bitch.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Give me. This is going to be a spot, but it's going to be a difficult roll.
Okay. Means I'm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I technically
Nice.
would have rolled a 55, so still a success.
Nice.
All right. So you're looking around
Mhm.
because you still have to see the person to see their aura around them.
Yeah. Basically, he did see when that contortion, and then
Yeah,
when it attacked. So he's basically using that to try to like see if there's like a line connection from that to another person. He's
Right.
just trying to find where that
You
connection
don't see
is.
a connection line, but with your success, you do see just enough. You see somebody in the water in a boat, like a little motorboat.
Mm-hmm.
Some distance off. He's just within sight.
Okay.
He appears to be healthy. He's very benevolent. Malevolent. First syllable, very important there.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, are we the villains? Are we the
Guys, are we the baddies?
Well, Michael's not. The rest of you are all playing monsters. So.
Hey now.
I don't know. I'm playing it.
Now, you're an
My
all-star.
character's a doctor, hasn't done anything.
Oh no,
Just
you're just
yet,
an elf.
okay?
No, he was being racist.
Okay.
You're really showing
Damn
that
life years.
1920 era stuff there, Jason.
I don't hate elves. It's just that they're so racist. I can't stand them. Terribly racist elves.
I blame Solus.
He's pretty full of his. He seems to be pretty full of power points.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly he spent some, but he's not depleted or anything.
Yeah.
And what is your POW?
Total or current?
We'll base it off current because I think that's probably what you'd go with.
Okay. Current is with that activation at 12 now.
Yeah, he's definitely more powerful than you.
Okay. Because I had to expend 5 to do the fate reroll.
Let's see.
Yes, I know. I know you want me to go to bed, Cat. I know.
Owen, and he's right to do so. We're past time, so we'll wrap up here real quick. So yeah, there's somebody. He's got an aura. He's definitely more powerful than you.
Okay. And he's on a boat out in the lake.
Yep, he's on a motorboat and is headed the opposite direction from you. He's done what he's planning to do, and he's running for it.
Okay, so I'll say last bit of my turn. He'll go, "Hey Salvador, boat on the water. That's the target."
How many boats are on the water at this particular moment?
More than just him, for sure.
The one running.
The enemy
They don't run.
Spaniards on the boat. He's on the boat. You can't talk to him because he's on the boat.
Sorry, I'm sitting here like it doesn't help. It's just like there could be a boat going this way, could that way.
All right, Charlie.
With the spot, is there an identifying marker I can tell him to aim?
Does he have a beard?
He can't tell from this distance.
I mean, like the boat itself.
No,
like
the boat
which
does not have a
boat to
beard.
aim for.
You can tell
Yes, the dwarven boat.
That's fair.
You can tell him the little motorboat, and he'll have to make a spot check to see if he
Okay.
Sure.
But
Yeah, so-
his spot check would be just a normal check because you're kind of trying to direct it to him.
Okay.
Yep.
All
I'll
right,
be right
Charlie, what are you doing?
Running to land?
So you're
Okay,
running
well, you have no
inland?
problems getting off the dock.
Yeah, inland. Yeah.
Or running further inland.
Yeah.
So you like taking cover, trying to get inside a building, just getting as much distance as you can.
Getting as much distance.
So you're just sprinting full speed. Leo.
I don't know if I could do this or not.
There's no harm
Is
in
there a
asking.
way to do an opposed check, essentially seeing if I can break the connection between the water
If you
elemental
had
and...
a spell that specifically allowed you to do that, sure.
Okay.
I might even say if you had a summoning spell, you might be able to contest control.
Okay.
So, in your current, kind of apprentice level state, no, not really.
Yeah. All right.
Leo might make a mental note. This is something to look into in the future.
Yeah.
There's got to be ways to banish some
regardless,
things.
do I see the boat he was calling out?
Give me a spot roll.
Knowing my spot, I think that's a fail. That is a fail.
There's several boats out there. You see, you see some smaller ones that could be the one he's talking about, but they're actually too close to be the one he's talking about. But you don't realize it.
I, like everyone else, is just right now beating feet.
Yeah, everybody's just trying to get all away from the water. Other than Salvador,
Yeah.
who's trying to be a distraction. Clearly trying to get the thing's attention.
Yeah. I'll give it something else to chase too.
All right.
Basically, we're both being distractions.
In opposite directions or the same direction?
Probably opposites to see. Basically, just try to get it to pick a direction.
All right.
What's the detective been doing this entire time?
Running.
Okay.
Fair
He
enough.
heard
Fair.
normal weapons can't hurt it. I only have a normal weapon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Got to
Just
see a
wanted
mermaid
to
again. I live
ask.
to tell.
Somebody's already getting the witness, trying to get the witness out of harm's way. Let's go.
Yep.
Vivian.
In a moment of stupidity, she's also going to try and distract it. Pulls out the violin, starts playing the loudest, most aggressive violin music she can.
Our bard.
Suddenly,
Unleash the bard.
she makes hard rock with a violin.
I was about to say she wouldn't be the first one, but it's the 1920s. She probably would be.
I don't know if you want me to roll. I rolled success for violin. I don't know if you want me to roll anything else.
No, we'll use that.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Eric's
Dun,
already
dun,
gone.
dun.
It's now Salvador's turn.
All right.
Are you continuing to try to
I'm
try to
going-
distract, or are you going to try to spot the?
I hear Michael. I will attempt to spot.
Give me a spot roll.
Yeah.
He is far. Oh, no, I said it would be normal because he's trying to direct
Success.
you. You see this little boat way off in the distance.
Is it within 110?
110 feet.
I don't know what that actually denotes in range.
That would probably be
A
110
rifle
meters.
has a massive range.
Yeah.
Well, the 110 is probably that first range increment,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then it would become probably difficult after that.
Okay. I'll take
We're,
a
low,
Also-
we're low on time, so I'm not going to look it up. We're just going to say difficult instead of trying to figure out
Sure.
exactly how
Alright.
many range increments it might be.
That'll work.
Also-
Fire. Yes, good. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just sitting there thinking about Vivian. It's like she made Devil Went Down to Georgia before it was made.
Alright,
I
success.
went down to
So-
Abbey Shores.
Roll damage.
All right. Where's my damage? It is 2d6 plus 4. 15. Jesus, almost max damage.
Alright, so he takes 15
Did you just
damage.
major wound him?
Fatality.
He kind of spins
Just watch
around,
the-
holding a shoulder, and drops out of sight of, where he was sitting up in the boat. He kind of... He doesn't fall out of the boat, but he falls down into the boat.
Is it more than half his health?
Think I got a hit. And then we'll.
Let's see. Would 15 be more than half his health?
Because doesn't something happen? Isn't it like a wound or
If you-
something?
If you
that-
take more
Yeah,
than
maybe,
half
yeah.
of your health in a single hit, you have to make
Yeah.
a
Major
roll
wound.
against a major
Let
wound.
me check.
I'll pick out a real nasty one for you.
You just hear a shot ring out, all the bullets just go faster the opposite directions.
Yeah.
All right, major wound table. Give me a roll.
Oh shit! Let's
Hey!
go.
Hey, yeah.
Refer to page 110 for what happens, which now expands to the loss of one or both arms or legs. It's 1d6 dex and reduced maximum movement by the same amount.
Working on it.
character unable to fight.
See if I can find 110. If we have 110, okay, 116.
If he went for a
115.
shoulder, that thing is now he can't cast spells anymore. Let's go.
Okay, you said 110. Refer to 110 for what happened, which now expands to the
Yeah.
loss of one or. Okay, 110
Simply
is
says
not
the
something that I have.
loss
It looks like.
of.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's 1 to 10 on the chart.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
1 to 10 is something, and then it what it writes under there is the abbreviation of the thing.
So
they lose
4.
They lose 4 dexterity and their movement by that much.
-4 dex. All right, and that arm is useless.
Yeah.
so now we're looking for a guy with a missing arm.
Who's the one-armed man?
This is actually the one-armed man's origin story.
Now I'm going to go off and murder some doctor's wife. Leo, are you married? All right. Then
I just realized that Michael just like accidentally become Salvador's spotter.
Yes.
Geek the mage.
Yep.
All right, then the creature goes.
Sure, he doesn't want to give up his turn fatigue.
All right, so Leo.
But
was
still
trying to
under
be a distraction.
control.
First off,
Yeah.
let's see if he's distracted from his main goal. Or she, I should say. Well,
It.
at the
They.
moment, because there's no.
I assume the wound doesn't like cut off the connection or anything first.
However,
We
he
wouldn't get that lucky.
however
no.
he can't actually add power points to him to maintain it.
Yeah, that'd be hard for him to do even at this distance, period.
Yeah.
Clearly he was out there summoning, get him, and then was trying to drive away, and his plans were foiled.
I'm not apologizing.
Well, you should.
No.
We're going to call this a power.
I refuse.
We don't know who it is. We can't apologize.
So it needs a
Therefore, we
55
are not
It
apologizing.
needs a 55
Unless you
or
wanna
less
tell us
stay
what it-
on target.
Stay on
27,
target.
it stays on target.
Okay.
Damn.
The head, or what's
Stay on
kind of the
target.
head-ish on it, is it's swiveling around. It's noticing everybody. But it moves forward and takes another, grab at.
Gonna try the dodge.
Roll it.
Nope. Almost the same roll as last time, too.
94.
Oh.
I know you failed. You know you failed. Everybody watching thinks Teak just made a brilliant move. They saw him do something, and then the creature missed.
How far is Teak from the Model T?
You could have pulled down. You could have pulled down pretty close.
Okay.
So we can say that you were getting there because it would have fallen. It would be up out of the water at this point because it's been following you the entire time you've been moving.
Right.
So yeah, we will end with you getting right to the Model Teak.
He's putting her in the back and grabbing the crank.
Oh, that's right, because you didn't install.
Should have put that electric start. Should have put that electric start.
I picked it up yesterday.
I know, but the Teak's internal monologue.
It's like shit.
So next session,
Never procrastinate again.
Next session will probably start up with a drive roll to see if we can get it cranked in one go.
Effort roll. You want me to roll the effort roll? I'll roll it now.
No. We can start up next week with that. So I hope y'all had fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hope anybody watching at home or who watches or listens later, I hope you'll join us again next week. Again, I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me has been Jeremy as Salvador. Rappy as Charlie. Eric as Michael.
I think she's waving.
Patrick as Leo. Sarah as Vivian. And Carr as Teak. And we will see y'all next week.
So tread with
Bye-bye.
care
Good night.
and heed the sign. Abomination, Ali's line. For in the night the shadows grow and take with them your troubles